Hi class, this is teacher Wenny and you're tuning in to Jigsaw 101. And then for today, let's talk about conceptual learning. Now, conceptual learning is when you have a prior learning or a prior concept of a lesson. For a class, for example, when you are being told by your teacher that to learn them onset of the class and you know something and then you are enriched with the lesson that the teacher is giving, that is conceptual learning because it builds on what you know and it helps you understand more about the lesson because they have a similar concept or you know the concept of the lesson and then you are taught about it, or it makes the experience more enriching and interesting because you have something to add on. Now, the reason that we are here, that let's talk about Slavin's jigsaw learning. Now, Slavin's jigsaw learning is it banks on Aronson's jigsaw learning, and it is jigsaw learning is having the students form groups, home groups and experts groups. Let's talk about that later. Slavin's jigsaw focus primarily on individual learning of the students rather than Aronson's jigsaw, because Aronson's jigsaw focuses on simply on cooperative learning, group learning, which is very helpful, nonetheless. So on Slavin's jigsaw, it teaches students because they are on a group setting. Slavin's focuses on individual learning experience in a group setting. So actually, I have devised a lesson plan. I made a lesson plan about this, and it focuses on the second wave of imperialism and how the world powers before, like Great Britain, Japan, and other global powers before in the later centuries, how they raced to get colonies in Africa and anywhere in the world. So what I used Slavin's jigsaw is that for step one is I will introduce to them the concept of making groups. So for making groups, I will tell them you have to form 5 groups. So it is very essential that the students form 5 groups only, because in the later part of a jigsaw learning, students will have to move to learn the others assigned task, right? So for step 1, you need to tell your students that they have to form 5 groups. Now, these 5 groups initially they are called home groups. The first initial group, home group, is that they know who their members are, what they will be doing, and of course that they know what they are learning. Okay, so that's step 1. And for step 2 is it talks about getting them to know the lesson. So what they will be doing and what the things that they will be learning. So for step 2 is that you need to tell them that they will be receiving for my lesson plan, I will hand out to my students pictures showing colonist perspective. Now it will show pictures of people colonizing countries, oppressing people, and they will have to know what perspective the picture is showing. So from there, they scrutinize the picture. They have to tell their group mates what they think about a picture. So from there is this sharing going on. And what is very important to Slavin's jigsaw learning is that teachers or facilitators of learning have to tell the students beforehand, before doing this activity with the class, is that you need to give them selected learning texts or documents for them to have prior learning about it. So they know what's up, they know things about the lesson. So that's basically it. That's very important for Slavin's jigsaw learning, because Aronson's it's very, very different with Aronson's. And I like Slavin's jigsaw learning because it's not about just group learning. It also focuses on individual experiences and if students are really learning in a group setting. right? So back to the step 2 is that they know what they're doing. You've given them handouts, and for me, I give them pictures of colonists. So they're doing investigations, they're scrutinizing the pictures to know what perspective picture is showing. So for that, they are guided with questions. What do you see? What inferences are you making based on the picture? And what can you say about the picture? And what does it tell you about the times during the second wave imperialism? How does it make you feel? Right? So that's step 2. So in jigsaw learnings, there term expert groups. Now these expert groups, the students that have really know that have because in a group setting, there will always be someone who has more knowledge about something, who have the confidence to do something that others may be shy to do, or someone has volunteered to do this and that because they know much more about it. It's not that they are better than the other group mates, it's just they have confidence in themselves that they can do it, that they know they can do this and that. So these expert groups, they know about the topic and have more reach about the topic. So for this, for my plan, expert groups are to be chosen by their group mates. For each of the groups, home groups, they will have to pick the experts on the chosen lesson and the lesson. So for that, they will have to choose people who will represent their group. So for group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4, group 5, so the experts will be chosen and they will form expert groups. So these expert groups, they will be given more handouts. They will be tasked to learn the lesson. So they will be having an extensive discussion on the topic at hand, which is the topic is about the causes and the effects of the second wave of imperialism. The lessons will fall under American and French Revolution, the African being a pie to these global powers, so they can fight over and share the pieces of Africa, which is a very, very controversial lesson because it tells us how global powers, how money, how power, and how territories can drive someone go crazy or worse, oppress people just because they think their culture and their ideologies are much more important than other people, right? So for that, these expert groups will be the ones to really know the topic and share their ideas, what they know about the lesson, and what they have gotten from the learning selected texts that will be handing them out. But of course, the home groups will have their own thing to do. So they should also have their ideas about the lesson based on the pictures I have handed them out, and they will also have to share their ideas within the home group, so they know and they are guided with the questions I will be giving them. So what were your ideas about it? How did it make you feel? Do you have any prior less ideas about the topic, or what does it tell about the world today, and how does it affects the current state of things in Africa, in the United Kingdom, in our country? So that's that. So the expert groups, and after the expert groups have their time of discussing the lesson, and they know about the lesson more extensively than the home groups. Now on step 4, this is when our expert groups are now done with discussing the lesson, and that they know the things based on the discussion that they have with the other experts from other groups. They will be going back to their home groups. Now the main purpose of these experts is to go back to their home groups, and they will discuss and share what they know and what they have got understood from the text that I've handed them out to them out, and from the sharing that they have done with other experts. So they go back to their home group and they help their members from their home groups, they help their members master the lesson and hear their ideas about the images that they have scrutinized, and the experts will be having a short discussion in their groups. So they will share their ideas, they will answer any questions that their members have, and enlighten them what the images also portrays for them. And because they have shared and they have learned and read the text that I have handed to them out, and they have their sharing, so they can master the lesson and share what they have learned to their group mates, and their group mates will also learn and also share their ideas to the group. So they now know, and there is cooperative learning. So what cooperative learning does to students is that they are comfortable with their peers, they are comfortable with sharing their ideas, and that they know what they will be doing. And then for example, that they can share what they want to share, they can say what they want to say, because they are in a group of students that they know. But of course, the teachers also serves as a facilitator of learning, and just a facilitator to check if the students are really doing the task, or if they have questions. The students can go to their teacher to ask if they have clarification some things, or if anything, the teacher is there to really help the students. But the teacher does not really go to groups and do this and that and really teach the lesson, but the teacher will be serving as a facilitator of just getting the class really do have fun in learning with their groups, and that the students are safe with the teacher in the classroom, right? So like for step 4, this is called Jigsaw II Teaching. So the experts teaches their group mates what they have learned, right? We talked about that earlier. And that for the sake of conceptual learning, with the pictures that I've handed to all the groups, and they know that they know what the lesson is all about, and with the experts help in mastering the material, they are building their learning with group experiences, and they are having other feedbacks from people based on the answers that they have shared to their group mates. So they know that maybe this is wrong, maybe this is right, and that they have and people have shared their understanding of the picture, and with the experts help on mastering the material and really learning of everything. They know that what they have learned is correct, and it is that they had learning, and they had fun with the task at hand, with the activity. And that's just really important to me, that my students are really learning, and that they are having fun while learning, and that they know that what they are learning can really help them along the way, and that they can see the world. They can really have to see the world based on what happened before, and that can really help in how they do things, and how on making right and sound decisions, and really help them grow, not just with academics, not just in academics, but personally. They can really grow personally. They can make development. They can have developments while having group setting learning, right? So that's for step 4. The step 4 is really crucial for other peoples to really for the students to really learn, and for the success of the Jigsaw II Slavin's activity. Now, it is really important, because we pivot to step 5. Now, step 5 is the evaluation and recognition of the activity that you did with your class. because Slavens focuses on individual learning and within a group setting, so people do really perform better when when there is a competition, friendly competition going on. So in step 5, the experts will have a short test. This will evaluate if their group mates are really learning, and they can share the results for the people, right? So after that, it is basically a short test with people really with the students really having a friendly competition. Usually it is a multiple choice test to see if their group mates are learning, and if they were listening to the ideas that were shared by their group mates, so there this and that. So the purpose of experts is that they know the answers to the questions, and that they have the confidence to administer to their own group, so that to know if they were really listening and learning. Now after that, teachers will consolidate the scores that groups of the 5 groups have from the self-administered multiple choice test from the experts. So from that, the teacher, me, be checking the scores, and will be checking the questions that were made by the expert students. So I will be checking them out, and I will compare the stats, the scores of my class, and see if the activity was really working, and if they were really learning, if they had confidence in themselves to really answer the questions made by their peers, made by their co-students, their fellow students. So right after then, I will also be administering, or I will be assessing their own learning with everyone. So I will be also having my short test, a multiple choice test. I will be also assessing their learning. So it is teachers' own material that we really know the students' performance level. So if the activity worked out, and the experts' own multiple choice test, short test really did help them learn about the causes and the effects of the second wave of imperialism to Africa, and how did the French and American Revolution went about before. So if that really helped, and I'm sure it will help, right? So for my lesson plan, I will be also administering to my class, not just administering, but I will be having it with my class, a short multiple test, and I will read aloud the questions, and the students will have to write it on a 1/4 sheet of paper. The answers will be written in a 1/4 sheet of paper, so that they will know the answers, and that they will be writing, because it's more fun to really just it's a competition per se, right? So if they know the answer, they can simply write it quickly to their papers, and that I will read aloud the questions and the choices too, so that they know that they are the answers are within the choices, and so they can write only the letter, or they can write the letter and the answer to their paper, right? So that's evaluation and recognition. So after everything, from the scores, from the experts test, and from my test, we will be recognizing the groups that have done that have fared that have exceeded your expectations, and that they have good scores, and they will also receive rewards. Now for fairness, everyone will receive the same rewards, because I think for a class with students, right, so I think it's fair to give them the same rewards. But if they place first, second, and third, I think it wouldn't be much better if they receive the same rewards, because to avoid the concept of favoritism or whatnot, so that they feel valued, even though their scores weren't as good as other groups. So I will be giving them the same rewards regardless of their performance, and I will also recognize everyone's efforts with the task, and because they have completed the task, and that they've learned, and that they have They have really done their best in answering the test and doing the activity. Now, before I forgot, in step 4 also, the teacher, after the sharing of the experts groups and their teaching to their group mates, I as a teacher will also have my own short discussion and answer the questions of the students to make sure that they got everything correct, and that to make adjustments from what they have learned moving forward, because they might have really got this wrong, or they have really misheard about something. For that time, for the period of time, I will be serving as a teacher that really listens to my students, and then that hears what they really know and what they have learned from this and that, and to clarify something about the lesson so that they are really guided while doing the task, and that they know that what they have asked is correct or not. So there. So for step 5 again, it's just evaluation and recognition. It recognizes the efforts of the students while doing the activity and learning the lesson for that day, right? So that is how I incorporate Slavin's jigsaw learning into my classroom. So the students are having fun while learning, and I as a teacher, will be serving as a facilitator for all of learning, that I will be guiding them how to do the activity with themselves as the home groups and with the expert groups. So for this lesson plan that I have devised, it is consensually group activity that lets the students really learn by themselves, with also the help of the selected reading handouts. And I will also be asking them questions to stimulate learning, and that's it. The teacher is doing his duty to teach students, and the students are learning while having fun, because they're with their groups, they're with their friends, they're with their they know that they're safe learning, and that their ideas are not judged. Of course, the teacher shouldn't judge the students' answers, their ideas, because it's their idea. But the teacher should really get into what's the student's answer and get elaborate on that. Okay, to help the students learn with as Pia Alonso Wordsback said, confidently beautiful with a heart, so that they feel that they feel confident in answering, and they are not ashamed of what their answer is going to be, right? So that they're encouraged, and that they are accepted, and that their answers are not wrong or right per se, but it is within the teacher's duty to elaborate on a student's answers, and really have the students' confidence boost up because of their answers, to really have a really supportive and in really good environment of learning inside the classroom. So that's it. So that's Socksai 101, and I'm glad that you are here with me learning, and I'm so glad that I can share with you my plans for my classroom with my class. So goodbye for now. Don't forget, you are tuned to Socksai 101 with Teacher Wenny. Bye guys!